Right, hello. So we've got a lot to work on. Effectively, I am working on 2 units of STEELHELMS, some Free-Your Marshal with his Relic Envoy, Warforger. I've also got a commission here of for some Terminators and a Primaris Librarian for Blood Angels. Will be obviously I won't be filming the commission, but we're going to work on my crusade, continue on my crusade force, because we are 3 weeks away now from my from my battle up at warhammer over Easter weekend. So I need to crack on. I've got those 2 units. I've got a unit of I've got Gotrek to do as well, who's here, and his base is starting to come along. So I've started painting on the shields, and this is effectively what we're going to work on. We're going to work on our first coat of shields, which is going to be corn red. Exactly the same as the video for for my Fusiliers. We're going to do corn red for the red. On the reverse, on the all of the metal, we're going to do lead belcher. On the reverse side of the shields, we're going to do dryad bark, like so, and then we're going to Agrax Earth shade across the entire thing, and that's going to be our start for those. On the on the actual STEELHELMS, we've got these here. We've got these chest pieces which I need to build up to white, and a large amount of metal. So that's effectively what we're doing. We're going to build that up to white. So what we'll do is we'll start with Celestia Grey on those pieces too. So that's what's coming up. We're going to just rush through all of these pieces, because like I say, we've only got 3 weeks, or less than 3 weeks, to get this army done. And then we've got a unit of Cavaliers, another unit of Fusiliers to do, and Gotrek, and a Cav Marshal. So I mean, there's a lot coming up. We're also with the Warforger. Where is it? With the Warforger. Oh, I've also got my command corps as well. So the Warforger's suit. I'm not going to do white. I don't think it'll be as cool. So I'm probably going to do that red. Actually, no, I am going to do it white, because I'll do all of these greens red. And we've got we've got the uniform. This piece under here is going to be white, and I'm going to do the cloak red. So I mean, there's a lot to do, and not a lot of time to do it. So I'm going to try and rush through this, try and share as much as I can for you guys, because I also want to share as much knowledge as I can when I battle Stormcoast Eternals up at Warhammer World. So we're just taking a fine brush and just getting all of this. We don't really want to cover too much of the non-red fronts. I've got some transfers coming to build for my army for Crusade. And as you can see, I've got most of the shields done. I've just got a few more to do for 20 STEELHELMS. Right, so as we can see, there are a lot of bases, just needing the Hex-Ray Flame layer, which is very easy. If you look on my bases tutorial for my spooky green bases, it's right there. I have done all of my shields, so as we can see, these pieces I've just done with the Xandri dust. So I will Agrax Earth shade the entire shields on both sides and let them start to dry as well. So before we move on to our next layer. STEELHELMS, I have done all of their Celestia Grey, as we can see, and I've also started to do skin tones. So to show the to show diversity across the Mortal Realms, I am effectively taking the 4 skin tone colour palettes in the book. Like so. So effectively what we've got is we've got this we've got this brown skin tone here, which we'll start with which I've started with Catch and Flesh, which I need to do a second coat. We have the basic pink human skin tone, which is Bugman's Glow. We have the lighter skin tone, which is the start of Kislev Flesh, and then we have Night Questel Flesh on a slightly light skin tone here. With that, what I'll do is I'll do second layers, and then basically what I need to do is Reikland Flesh Shade on all of them, apart from this one, which will be Targal Rage Shade. And then after that, we'll do our next layers. We're also going to start on all of the silver, on all of the on all of the bodies and things. So effectively, on all of the armor, we're going to lead belcher everywhere. And of course on all of the weapons too. Gets all of that started, and then after we've done the armour, we're going to start doing the clothing. Now this clothing here I'm going to do in greys, because if you look at Crusaders, they would have grey armour. So I'm going to do that in a Mechanica standard grey, and then we're going to keep the trousers black, and we'll have some leather for the boots and things. But this is really this is how batch painting goes. Effectively, what we're going to do. Because what I've done is because I've got 20 of these guys, I've done these in 5s. So there's the 5 guys. Catch Flesh. Right, and that's it basically. What we'll do is I will do the each of the skin tones. I've given them this the second layer for them. Oh, whoops, that's a gloved hand. Yeah, so this is a second layer for them. And then we'll start on the silver and the washes. But if you break it down like this into sort of like smaller, easier, manageable bite chunks, certainly makes life a lot easier, less daunting when you're batch painting. when I built these I messed up as well. For some reason I have 3 champions, unit champions, so I'm going to have to get another unit of STEELHELMS just to even that out. When I was building them I didn't pay attention to the build second time around for my second unit. Right, there we go. So that's the that's the dark skin tone anyway. On the second layer, I'll move on to the buglins. I've also started on my command corps. So this is my whisper blade, which I've done in else. It was Celestial Grey and some corn red. As we can see, it's starting to look very cool. I'm going to do a second layer of Celestial Grey before I move on to a wash for that, and a wash on the what do you call it? And for my Warforger, and again, same thing, red cloak. And for my Warforger, he's got a nice white, he will have a nice white cloak too. I just need to start on his skin tone and this guy's skin tone too. So everything's coming along nice and quickly, which is exactly what I wanted, because I mean, I've only got a few weeks now. Right. So here is my all of the all of the metals done, and now I've started doing it on the all of this leather working. So effectively, what I'm doing is all of the belts and things around the waists of the what you call it, of the guys. There's also a what you call it, a little bit of covering here, leather covering over the boots, which I'm going to do, and I'll do the boots and the trousers black. And then what we've got is the tunic underneath, which I'm doing in Mechanica Standard Grey. Which, because if you look at what you call it, old Crusade pictures, the uniform looks grey with black trousers. So this is what we're doing with our STEELHELMS. Now, also, if you notice, I've got 5 guys, because what I've done is to make this much quicker, much easier, it's broken it down into batches of 5. So effectively what I've done is I've got them in their 5 sort of like skin tones, and I've broken them down into those 5 batches for the 2 units of 10 that I'm going to do. Which, you know, you could probably break it down into a couple of units of 5 if you're doing just a couple of groupings of 5 if you're just doing a single unit. But it just makes batch painting much easier, because then you can just do 5, put them off to one side, and think about them later. So we're doing all of this before, as always, before we do any of our washes, get all of our bases on. So the leather working I'm doing in Warm Fan Brown. Oh, excuse me. And yeah, so the leather working I'm doing in Warm Fan Brown, and then we are, you know, we're getting there. We will just need to do the black on the black on the clothing, and then what we're doing on the trousers even, and then we're on to washes, and then it will just be fine detailing and layering. So it moves so much quicker, and it moves much easier for you if you do it this way. Right, so next we are moving on to gold. We're tidying up the black, just getting it ready for when we need to move on for trousers. So what I'm doing is taking Abaddon Black and Retributor armor, and then first we've got little things. So we've got these little pieces from the helmet, you know, the effectively the material that would soften. So I'm painting these black, as well as the as well as the trousers and the boots. This guy has an eye patch, so we'll take care of that too. And then we're also sort of like highlighting down the helmets with these pieces here, just down to the rim in Retributor armor, ready for when we wash it, and then we can highlight it. Like so. I'm also, the belt buckles, because I didn't paint them initially when I was doing silver, because of course I needed to do the brown, so we're going to do the belt buckles too in lead belcher, which we will highlight later. And then there are also there will be some weapons that we'll highlight with Retributor armor, like this sword, and then there are also some things like scabbards here. So I'm going to highlight these with with gold, and then I'm also going to use some Rhinox hide as well on on these pieces. So that's what I'm doing. As you can see, I'm back to my next batch of 5. I have them all sort of like sitting here, like so, in batches of 5, which are coming along nicely. And then after that, we'll probably move on to highlights before we move on to the red. So we're continuing on with the gold and the black is all done and everything. We're now doing some red, putting all of this in Mephiston red, ready for ready for the to match with our uniforms. First, what we're doing is we are painting the tabards and things in Ulthuan grey. So we're just giving a light dry brush. I also washed it in Drakenhof Nightshade, like I did on my Fusiliers. So we're just going to start doing that over the white tabard. And then of course what we'll do is we'll Mephiston red that, and there's also these van braces as well on either side, so we're doing those in red too. Right, so all of my steel helms are ready. They're done. I'm working on the command cult slowly, but I think I'm gonna split this video into 2 and do them as a separate thing. So with the with the steel helms, the next thing that I'm going to do is effectively I want to Nuln oil all of the armor, all of the clothing, all of the wood. So we're going to do that on my previous in the previous video with the Fusiliers. I did Agrax Earthshade, but I want I want a darker. I don't want a brown finish on the on the grey clothing. So that's my intention for that. On the skin tones, we have Reikland Flesh Shade and we have Targol Raid Shade. Targol Raid Shade will be used for the black skin tones on these guys, And the Reichland Flesh shade will be used on all of the others. And then we're going to do Caribou Crimson on all of the, all of the red, arm pieces, van braces. So that's where we're at on all of those sorts of things, and what's going to happen. And then after that, it's a case of doing our next layer ready for and highlighting, which will just be sort of like some light silvers, light blues, light greys, light reds. But we're getting there, and the unit is very nearly done. Right, so we are moving on to highlights. We're not doing the red yet. We'll do that afterwards. But with everything dried, we're effectively highlighting the skin, the silver, the boots, and the gold. So because of that, skin tones, we have 4 different styles of skin tone. The standard pink is getting some Cadian flesh tone, which is where I'm starting. The other 2 lighter skin tones are having flayed one flesh. And the black skin tone, it will be having Blood Reaver flesh. So it's just a case of just lightly going over. You know, there's not a lot of skin showing anyway. And we'll highlight it towards the end. But with this big unit done, we're very nearly. We're doing good for our road to Warhammer World. So after we do that, we're doing the grey, and we're doing Dawnstone on the grey. And again, we're just going over with light dry brush. Just catch all those raised edges and those highlights. After the grey on the on the tabards, we will be moving on to the boots. The boots, I've got a Doomball brown, which this is my sort of like standard leather. So, and again, we're just sort of brushing around like so, just catching the edges. And then what we'll do is we'll highlight all of this with Skag Brown, which is, the standard. This will be my standard leather look for the entire army. So with that done, it's then on to the gold with some auric gold armour. And we're just doing some light highlighting. On things like the tops of the helmets that I've already painted in gold, and any weapons that have got some gold on them too. And of course these scabbards. And then the last thing is highlighting all of the silver. So we're just sort of like, again, taking our finest brush, and we're just going around the edges. on things like that, like so. So I've got this is number 5 out of 20. So once that's done, and it's the last few highlights and the banners. Right, so here we are. This is the finale of the steel helm that I'm doing. I just need some touch up on this base, but otherwise, effectively what I've got now is an enormous collection of colours down the bottom. For a start, I started on the skin tone and did the eyes. The skin tone for for the black characters. I like Quest or Flesh, and all of the others. It's gonna be pretty much Kislev Flesh, Wraithbone, and Berserker Bloodshade. On the on the axe, what I've done is just done light dry brush with Gawthor Brown. Highlight, does white highlight with white scar over these. We've also done Skag Brown on the on the boots. We've taken a bit of Evil Sun Scarlet and just brushed over the van braces very lightly, like so. And then highlighted bits of it with Wild Rider Red. Around the edges of the trousers, what I did was on these trousers I've done Dark Reaper, Thunderhawk Blue and Fenrisian Grey. On the on the cloth here, what we're doing is we're doing some Administratum Grey and just going around these edges here, highlighting all of these things. On the tabard, like so, and just on all of these edges. And then on the on this tabard, we've just taken some white scar, and then again highlighting these ruffle bits on the edges. Like so. So this is all we're doing. We're just sort of just doing light highlights across the whole thing, just to get everything highlighted and done. But that was the first model done. So that's 19 out of 20. So we're very, very nearly there. The only other thing that I've done is that's different is on the banners, and this here I've done in Drugy Violet because it will give a different finish when I do the banners. But that's it, and hopefully this has been informative and helpful. I will go through and finish everything off, and then we'll see the finale. So here we go. This is the these are my first unit of 10 finished. Sorry it's taken so long to get a new video out. I've been working very heavily on commissions recently, and of course next Saturday I'm away for the to Warhammer World, so I'm trying to get this done as well. As we can see, they are matching. I am waiting for my transfers so I can put those on as well. But there it is. Also, so this, if you notice, right here, right, there's a snap here. I've also snapped the other one. As you can see right there, you see the fact of the matter is that these are really top heavy, they are really flimsy, and they snap incredibly easily. So my recommendation is to actually, now I know, to not attach the arm and to paint them later. So, you know, anyone who is like, you know, painting steel helms, definitely pay attention to that, because they are, you know, incredibly light and incredibly easy to snap. And don't put too much pressure, because if they do snap, then the the rope here can hold it for when you re-glue it in place. So you just, something to be aware of when you do it. Anyway, hopefully this has been helpful and informative. Hit me up with a like and a sub. Like I say, this snapping issue, definitely don't glue on the arm. And if you do, then just be aware of it and be careful, because it wobbles like the easiest bit. Transporting this is going to be a huge challenge, to not snap it when I put it in a tub or something.